My name is Margaret Wilson. I am 67 years old. I live in a small town. I have lived in the same house for more than 40 years. My husband built this house with his own hands. Every room holds precious memories for me. My husband passed away 10 years ago. Since then, I have lived alone. My only son, Michael, lives in another city with his wife and children. He visits me only a few times each year. Even though I felt lonely sometimes, I was happy in my house. I knew every corner of it. I loved sitting in the garden and looking at the flowers my husband planted many years ago. One afternoon, Michael came to visit me. I was very happy to see him. We had lunch together and talked for hours. He seemed kinder than usual. While we were talking, Michael said, "Mom, you are getting older. Living alone is not easy. You should think about moving closer to me." I smiled and said, "Thank you, Michael, but this house is my home. I do not want to leave it." Michael nodded and changed the subject. I thought he understood my feelings. After a few days, he returned to his city. A few weeks later, Michael called me. He said he wanted to help me manage my finances. He told me that some paperwork would make things easier in the future. I trusted my son completely. When he visited again, he brought several documents. He explained them quickly and asked me to sign. I did not read every page. Michael was my son. I believed he would never do anything to hurt me. So I signed the papers. Months passed. Life continued as usual. Then one morning, someone knocked on my door. When I opened it, two strangers were standing outside. A man and a woman smiled politely. The man said, "Hello. We recently bought this house. We wanted to introduce ourselves before moving in." I stared at them in confusion. "Bought this house?" I asked. "There must be a mistake." The woman looked surprised. She showed me some documents. My address was written on them. The papers clearly said the house had been sold. My hands began to shake. I could not understand what was happening. This was my home. How could someone else own it? I immediately called Michael. He answered after several attempts. "Michael," I said, "these people claim they bought my house. What is going on?" There was silence on the phone. Then he spoke quietly. "Mom, I was going to tell you later." My heart sank. "Tell me what?" I asked. Michael took a deep breath. "I sold the house a few months ago. I used the papers you signed. I thought it was the best decision." I felt as if the world stopped around me. Tears filled my eyes. "You sold my house without telling me?" I whispered. Michael said he had debts. His business was failing. He needed money urgently. He believed he could solve his problems by selling the house. "You believed?" I cried. "This house belongs to me. It is the only thing your father left for me." Michael apologized many times, but his words could not repair the pain in my heart. For several days, I could not sleep. I felt betrayed by the person I trusted most. Every room in the house reminded me of my husband and our life together. One evening, there was another knock at the door. It was the couple who had bought the house. The woman said softly, "We heard what happened. We did not know the truth when we bought the house." The man added, "We feel terrible. We do not want to force you out." I thanked them, but I knew they legally owned the house. There was little I could do. A few days later, the couple returned. They had made a surprising decision. They told me they would allow me to stay in the house for as long as I wanted. They said no one should lose a home filled with memories. I could not believe their kindness. Tears rolled down my face. These strangers showed me more compassion than my own son. Months later, Michael came to visit. He looked tired and ashamed. He stood quietly at the door. "Mom," he said, "I made a terrible mistake. I lost your trust. I do not expect forgiveness." I looked at him for a long time. The pain was still there, but so was the love of a mother. I said, "Michael, money can be earned again. But trust is much harder to rebuild." He lowered his head and began to cry. That day, I learned an important lesson. Sometimes the deepest wounds come from the people we love the most. And sometimes, kindness comes from complete strangers. My house remains standing, but my heart would never forget the day my son sold it without telling me.